Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. So, these are the four, at the moment, the four defendants, or the ones charged, in the murders, the kidnapping and murders of Veronica and Jillian. And I'm going to go through the affidavit, and I'm also going to play the presser. I'm going to go through the presser real quick. They don't say a whole lot. The affidavit kind of gives more information, but I'm going to kind of play parts of that. And if you want to listen to it in its entirety, you can do that. And then we will go through the affidavit, and then I'll go further into the case later in the week. Again, I'm digging into this one as much as I'm digging into the local carjacking and shooting case here in Central Florida. So I'll tell you what, when it rains, it pours in true crime. That is for sure. There is not a lack of crime going on, unfortunately.
Good morning. My name is Sonia Garcia. I am acting special agent in charge for the Oklahoma City Field Office, FBI. On behalf of the entire FBI, I want to express our sincerest condolences to the family and loved ones of Veronica and Jillian. The FBI was requested to assist on this matter on April 4th, and since then we've had a dedicated team of analysts, agents, evidence response and tactical personnel working around the clock and alongside with OSBI and Texas County Sheriff's Office to bring the individuals responsible for this crime into custody and to provide a sense of closure to the families and to this community. Know that we are grieving with you today. We will continue to work with our partners and to be an advocate for Jillian and Veronica and to ensure that justice will be served. Thank you.
My name is Matt Bowley. I am the Sheriff of Texas County, and I would also like to offer our condolences to the family. Right. My agency's role in this is that we received a call on March 30th of an abandoned vehicle with persons missing from the vehicle. Deputies immediately responded to the area. When they arrived on scene, they found some things that just weren't adding up, so we established a crime scene and then notified the OSBI to have them come and assist us with this and to actually take lead on the case. All right. We established a search party made up of the Guyman Fire Department and several of the volunteer fire departments in the county, and we searched the area around the crime scene for about a mile in each direction. Once the OSBI arrived on the scene, they took the lead and got us to this point where we are today. I'd like to thank the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, especially the Northwest region. They were phenomenal in this. The Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, Guyman Fire Department, several Kansas agencies that assisted, local agencies here in Texas County that assisted, and I'm sure I've forgotten a few, but I'd like to just say thank you, even to the public. There was a lot of questions from the public as was there any danger to the public? And I think from the get-go, once we arrived on scene, that and we gained a little bit of information that we felt this wasn't a random deal. All right, we felt that with some of the information coming in that it was more targeted, and we started to look in those areas that we were pointed to. Okay, thank you.
I'm George Harrison Leach III. I'm the District Attorney for District 1. I wanted to start to let you know that on Friday the informations were filed, and they were filed under seal. The reason they were filed under seal was to protect our law enforcement officers and to try to keep the children out of harm's way. We were successful. No shots were fired, and the children were kept out of harm's way. Our district judge issued an order this morning, and those files are now unsealed. So you can get the information at the courthouse, you can get the affidavits at the courthouse, which will give you the facts that we were working off of.
Any additional questions you guys have, go right on ahead.
Is there confirmation at this point that the bodies recovered are Jillian and Veronica?
Not at this time. We have, we identified that there were 2 bodies during our search. Both of those deceased persons have been transported to the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office, where they will do a proper identification and also look into a cause and manner of death.
I wanted to add real quickly here, in between the press conference here, as I'm editing this video, the confirmation just came through that the bodies are confirmed to be that of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. That has been confirmed by the medical examiner's office as of this evening.
What led to the discovery of the bodies?
Based on the evidence that our agents and local law enforcement were able to obtain, we used that to search a wide area throughout Texas County, and we were able to use those resources in order to find where these 2 bodies were.
Do you know the timeline for when the bodies should be identified and when we should know what the cause of death was?
It's a case-by-case basis, but as soon as we hear back from the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office, we will let the public know.
Can you describe the scene where these bodies were recovered and what state these remains are in?
No, I mean, I can say that it was a very rural area. I cannot state the condition of the
Is
bodies.
this private property?
I cannot confirm that at this time.
In Oklahoma, there's the death penalty. If convicted, could we possibly maybe see this in this case?
You would have to reach out to the district attorney's office. That'll be something that will be discussed further down the line.
DA Stewart alluded to a lot of people calling in with a lot of tips. Were there particular tips that broke this case?
We received several tips throughout this entire process. The public, I mean, I know that we had thanked that our local law enforcement agencies, what they were able to help us and throughout this search, but the people here throughout this area have done a tremendous job of reaching out to us. The original press release that we had put out on March 31st in regards to searching for these 2 women, we constantly received several tips and had used those throughout the entire 14-day process in order to find these 2 bodies, and then also discover and find those who were responsible for this crime.
So the reason foul play was suspected was because of evidence found in the car. Can you go into more detail now of what that evidence was?
We cannot still at this time. It is still an ongoing investigation, and that is for our investigative purposes. Again, we can say that the evidence that was discovered inside of that abandoned vehicle and around it, we're able to help our investigators determine that there was foul play involved, and then led to the progression of this investigation. What was in the vehicle around it, we cannot discuss.
It was quite a convoy in executing these 4 search warrants. Was there concern of resistance to arrest? How much concern was there over a possible gunfight?
When you are regarding arrests and multiple arrests in the magnitude that we have all discussed, there is always, a cause of, of trying to protect the public as best you possibly can. We can say that all 4 of those arrests were made without incident, and so that, of course, went extremely well, and we are extremely grateful. Another agency that wasn't able to make it that was a big part of that and helped us tremendously was the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. So we want to thank them tremendously on that. But, I mean, again, there was concern, but we are extremely thankful that no one was hurt, no one was injured during this process.
Did any of the 4 suspects charged in the case tell law enforcement where to find them?
Say that one more time.
Did any of the 4 suspects charged in the case tell law enforcement where to find them?
No, we cannot discuss that at this time.
How early did you guys have suspects?
We can't discuss that at this time.
Are you able to go into further detail how you believe that this was targeted and not a random act?
Based on the evidence and the information that we were able to obtain throughout the entire investigation, what was found inside of the vehicle, witnesses, family, friends of the victims that we were able to talk to throughout this entire process, we were able to gain the information to determine that that these 4 people were responsible for both of these women going missing.
Also, are you able to confirm if this was over a custody battle?
We cannot confirm that at this time.
What's the relationship, if any, between the suspects and Veronica and Julia?
Again, because it is still an ongoing investigation, we cannot discuss that.
We know that one arrest was in Texas County, the 3 others in Cimarron. Can you describe the arrest process? You said there was no resistance, but...
That's all we can really say at this time. And we can say that the 4 people that we were looking for were found, arrested, and placed into custody within the same day, and there was no resistance.
And obviously you can't talk about the evidence in this case, but is there significant physical evidence in this investigation?
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
No.
Are you able to go into the condition of the bodies that were found?
No.
Is there a reason you guys were so tight-lipped right off the start? You said there wasn't a threat to the public when you guys were investigating, but still not a lot of information was released. Is there a reason for that?
There was not immediate threat to the public. Again, as the sheriff alluded, this was a targeted case. And when you ask about us not releasing a lot of information in that 2-week process, this is the way that our investigators work. This is what you have to do in order to get the job done, everybody involved, in order to catch those responsible and do everything in our power to find both of these people who went missing from the very beginning. So again, as we tried to do as the investigation progresses, we can release as much details as we possibly can. But again, the way that this process works is you can't give away as much as maybe you guys are asking for, because that's how we're able to catch these 4 suspects.
Did law enforcement speak with Tiffany Adams on March 30th?
I cannot confirm that.
Was the property where the bodies were found connected to the suspects at all?
I cannot confirm that.
Was Kelly a court-appointed supervisor for Butler's visits with the children?
We can't go into that.
So I know the bodies haven't been identified, but you know, everyone expressed their condolences. Do you think there's any chance that Veronica and Jillian are still alive?
No.
Any word on arraignment?
We will look into that further. When that is made available, we will let everybody know.
As the investigation progresses, do you expect the possibility for more suspects to be arrested?
Not at this time.
Have the suspects been cooperative and talkative, or have they provided any type of confession?
We cannot release that at this time.
Have the families helped you guys during this process at all? Have you guys worked
Yes.
with them? What's that been like?
Families, friends, people that have known both of these women who went missing have been a tremendous help. Everybody that we have talked to has helped us tremendously in doing everything they can to give us the necessary information in order for us to try to track them down and find out what happened.
Where are the children?
We can't go into that right now.
Are they?
They're safe. Yes.
Are they
Children are
with
safe.
them?
We can't go into that.
Now that the FBI is involved, will they face any federal charges?
We're not going to go into that right now.
So what next? Is there going to be further investigation?
Yes, the investigation continues. The next steps are when the identification of the 2 victims is made, we will let everyone know. And when the cause and manner of death is made by the medical examiner's office, we will let everyone know. Right?
Were the bodies together?
We cannot confirm that. Right now, there are no suspects at large. The public is not in danger. That's what's important to us. We are extremely grateful that we were able to locate and arrest the 4 people that we believe are responsible for this crime.
With this being such a rural area, did this make this case unique in any ways?
It made it challenging. Again, you're talking about northern Texas County, near that Kansas line. It's very rural. Those of you in the media that have been up there covering this, there's not a lot of homes, not a lot of buildings or businesses. Sometimes you could use cameras to help you in this case. We did not have that. So that's what made it extremely challenging.
Is there any video evidence?
Not at this time.
Have you ever seen a case like this? Like, is
The OSBI covers all kinds of cases. Each case is different in their own way. They're all just as important to us. But, you know, this case was tragic. You have two people who are dead, and four people that committed an absolutely brutal crime. And so, again, that's why it took every agency involved in this in order to get this done.
So I really edited that down. They don't say a lot, but the affidavit, once they released it, because it was sealed and then it became unsealed, and that's what we're going to go over right now. That kind of answers most of the questions. And trigger warning, this is the affidavit, the probable cause affidavit. It's 4 different times. The one I have listed up is for Tad, but it's the same affidavit for all 4 suspects. So, affidavit of probable cause for arrest warrant. The undersigned of lawful age being first duly sworn upon oath deposes and states as follows. I am Special Agent Jason Ott of the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. I have been a law enforcement officer in the state of Kansas and Oklahoma for approximately 27 years and served in the capacity of an investigator for over 20 years. I have read and prepared certain official investigative reports and statements of witnesses regarding the above-named defendant, and from those statements and reports it appears as follows. On Saturday, March 30th, 2024, the Texas County Sheriff's Office requested Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, OSBI, investigative services with the suspicious disappearance of Veronica Butler, 27, and Jillian Kelly, 39, from rural Texas County after their vehicle was found abandoned near Highway 95 in Road L, south of Elkhart, Kansas. Butler and Kelly were traveling to Oklahoma from Hugoton, Kansas. Interviews were conducted related to their disappearance, and it was discovered that Butler was in a problematic custody battle with Tiffany Adams for custody of Butler's 2 children. Problematic, that's putting it lightly. The father of those children were Wrangler Rickman, Adams' son. And so that's Tiffany Adams' son, Wrangler Rickman. Butler's visitation with her children was court-ordered to be supervised every Saturday. Adams had a particular person she preferred to supervise those visitations, and that person was Cheryl Brune. The court ordered Adams to pay Brune to supervise visits if that was who she wanted to be present. Otherwise, Butler was to choose and pay for the person to supervise. Adams said Brune was unavailable to supervise the visitation on March 30th, 2024, so Butler was required to arrange the supervision with one of her 3 approved individuals. Butler contacted Kelly of Hugoton, Kansas, and planned to have her supervise the visit. So this is how Jillian Kelly got involved. She was not the normal supervisor for the visitations. Butler told family members that she was going to pick up her children from Adams at 1000 hours, 10 a.m., at Four Corners intersection of Highway 95 and US 64 West, a location in Texas County, Oklahoma. Butler and Kelly left Hugoton, Kansas, and traveled to Highway 95 in Road L about 5 miles north of Four Corners. Butler and Kelly arrived at the location at approximately 0940 hours. Butler planned to bring her daughter to a birthday party, but after they did not arrive, the family began looking for Butler. Melissa and Joey Padilla, who were Butler's family members, located Butler's abandoned vehicle just west of the intersection of Highway 95 and Road L. The Padillas then contacted law enforcement at 12:09 hours. An examination of the vehicle and areas surrounding the vehicle found evidence of a severe injury. Blood was found on the roadway and edge of the roadway. Butler's glasses were also found on the roadway south of the vehicle near a broken hammer. A pistol magazine was found inside Kelly's purse at the scene, but no pistol was found. Now, a broken hammer, that is scary. I don't know about you guys, but breaking a hammer is not an easy thing to do. Adams told OSBI that on Friday night, March 29th, 2024, Rickman and Butler's children stayed the night with Barrett and Lacey Cook. Adams said she planned to pick them up the morning before visitation. Adams said she called Butler at 0900 hours to confirm the meeting, and Butler told Adams something came up and she was not going to make it. Butler's phone records confirmed the call occurred, however. The time of the call, Butler was in Hugoton, Kansas, in the process of picking Kelly up to go meet Adams. Adams stated that she was home at the time Butler and Kelly went missing. Adams picked up the children before 1200 hours from the Cook's residence. OSBI interviewed Brune and said she was available to supervise the visit that day, but Adams told her to take a couple of weeks off from the visitation so Adams could question the children related to how Butler's approved visitation supervisors were. Butler and Kelly's phone records indicated their devices were actively sending signals to their carriers until approximately 0942 hours, after which the devices were no longer seen by the networks and stopped transmitting. Neither phone was found at the scene or within the vehicle, and they are currently missing. Adams was the last known person to communicate with Butler and was scheduled to meet Butler and Kelly for visitation at 1000 hours on March 30th, 2024. So, Tiffany Adams told the person that normally supervised the visits, take a couple weeks off. Now, whether she knew that something was going to happen or not, I don't know. But she was normally the one to go, and she was available, she told law enforcement. So, through the child custody case, recordings were obtained where Rickman discussed death threats by Adams and Adams's boyfriend, Tad Cullum. The custody battle began in February of 2019 with many hearings and court appearances. On March 18th, 2024 and March 20th, 2024, motions were filed requesting extended visitation for Butler. A hearing was scheduled to occur on April 17th, 2024. Butler's attorney informed OSBI that Butler was likely to receive unsupervised visitation with her children at that hearing. At times, Adams refused to let Rickman have his children, even though Rickman had legal custody of them. Law enforcement previously responded to a call for service where Adams refused to give Rickman his children. Reportedly, the officer told Rickman he believed the children were better off in Adams's care. So, Grandma, Tiffany Adams, didn't want Veronica or her son Wrangler really to have the kids. So, where you would think, oh, she would be totally okay with her son having custody, no, she didn't want either one of them having the children. Redacted reported that in mid to late February 2024, Rickman told her they didn't have to worry about the custody battle much longer because Adams had it under control. That Adams knew the path the judge walked to work and, quote, we will take out Veronica at drop-off, unquote. Rickman was confirmed to be in a rehabilitation facility in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma at the time of the disappearance. The children remain in the custody of Adams. Rickman denied having that conversation with Knox. On April 1st, 2024, OSBI agents obtained a search warrant for Adams' cellular phone. OSBI agents performed an extraction on the device. Information gained from the device included web searches for taser pain level, gun shops, prepaid cellular phones, and how to get someone out of their house. Why anybody thinks that the cops and investigators aren't going to be able to find your searches for all these things later on, and you're not going to get caught for all this digital evidence, I have no idea. On April 3rd, 2024, OSBI interviewed C.W., age 16 years. C.W. is the daughter of Cora Twombly and Kobe White. Cora is married to Cole Twombly. C.W. stated she had overheard group conversations related to Butler not protecting her children from her brother, all in reference to an SA abuse allegation. So they were stating that Veronica's brother was allegedly SAing Veronica's kids. That's the allegation. CW advised that she was told by Cora that Adams, Culliam, Cora, Cole, and Paul Grice were involved in the deaths of Butler and Kelly. She stated that Adams had provided burner phones to use so they could communicate without using their personal devices. CW saw 2 burner phones charging on Cora's nightstand in her bedroom. CW described Cora, Cole, Adams, Culliam, Paul Grice as being part of an anti-government group that had a religious affiliation. Through OSBI investigation, it was learned that they call their group God's Misfits. Regular meetings are held weekly at Twombly's in the home of Barrett and Lacey Cook. So, some sort of a cult that just doesn't like the government, and this should be very interesting because you have all these sovereign people. I think it's along those lines. So it should be interesting when they go to court tomorrow how they want to handle that one, because they don't go by the laws and all that. So these so-called misfit folks. CW was told on March 29th, 2024 that Cora and Cole would not be home in the morning when she woke and were going to be on a, quote, mission, unquote. When CW awoke at approximately 10 a.m., Cora and Cole were not home, but came home around 1200 hours. CW knew that Cole and Cora took a blue and gray Chevrolet pickup owned by them and a blue flatbed pickup owned by Clint Twombly, and when they left and returned to the same vehicles, CW was told to clean the interior of the Chevrolet pickup. CW asked Cora what had happened, and she was told things did not go as planned, but that they would not have to worry about her, that's Butler, again. CW was told that Cora and Cole blocked the road to stop Butler and Kelly and divert them to where Adams, Culliam, and Grice were. CW asked about Kelly and why she had to die and was told by Cora that she wasn't innocent either, as she had supervised Butler. CW asked Cora if their bodies were put in a well, and Cora replied, something like that. Yeah, so as you can see, we have a 5th person who has not been arrested yet. So I think we're going to at least have one other arrest, if not more. CW also disclosed that other attempts to kill Butler occurred during February of 2024 near Hugoton, Kansas, in which Adams, Culliam, Cole, Cora, and Grice went to Hugoton, but Butler did not leave her residence. This is consistent with the web search discovered on Adams's phone about how to get someone out of their house. That's interesting, huh? According to Cora, the plan was to throw an anvil through Butler's windshield while driving, making it look like an accident because anvils regularly fall off of work vehicles. The first thing I thought when I read this was, you gotta be kidding me. Think they're watching a bit too much Looney Tunes, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner? Because I don't think anvils normally just kind of fall off of work trucks and kill people. I don't think that happens in real life, guys. I think you're watching a lot of cartoons. While in Carrick, Texas, interviewing CW and her brother, Cora and Cole arrived and tried to get access to CW and her brother. Cora was verbally abusive and was very upset with the officiant that she was not granted access to CW and her brother. Cole exited the vehicle armed with a handgun and a holster on his belt. OSBI investigation showed Adams' search for gun shops on her cellular phone. A search of local gun shops showed Adams buying 5 stun guns at the Big R store in Guyman, Oklahoma. The purchase was made on March 23, 2024. So again, we're seeing 5 names, 5 phones, 5 stun guns. So again, this Grice, he is involved. Now whether he's made a deal, who knows? OSBI investigation showed that Adam purchased 3 prepaid cellular phones from Walmart in Guyman, Oklahoma on February 13th, 2024. The phones were identified by phone numbers, and these are redacted. Search warrants for information related to location services and phone usage were completed for each device. It was learned that all 3 phones were at the area where Butler's car was located and the last known location of Butler and Kelly at the time of their disappearance. All 3 phones were powered on and accessed the cellular network for the first time at or near Culliam's residence at different times prior to March 30th, 2024. On March 30th, 2024, phone numbers redacted before Butler and Kelly's disappearance were at the Twombly's residence prior to going to or near Culliam's residence. Butler and Kelly's disappearance at 10:05 and 10:16 hours. Phone numbers redacted were in the area at or near Culliam's residence. After Butler and Kelly's disappearance on March 30th, 2024, between 10:16 and 10:35 hours, it was determined that phone numbers redacted were at a property owned by Jamie Beasley below a dam in the pasture where fresh dirt work was located by your officiant. Concrete was moved from a location near Beasley's residence, approximately 150 to 200 yards below the dam, where it was discovered that a hole had been dug and filled back in and then covered with hay. The location where Butler and Kelly disappeared from and where Butler's vehicle was located is approximately 8.5 miles away from a location below the dam on Beasley's property, giving drive time from the location of where Butler's vehicle was located to Beasley's property well within the 34 minutes between the time of Butler Kelly's phones stopping transmission and the prepaid phone numbers, redacted, arriving at the dam on Beasley's property. All prepaid phones stopped transmitting on the morning of March 30th, 2024 at locations near Twombly's residence and Beasley's property. Beasley advised that the dirt work was done with a skid steer by Culliam on March 29th, 2024, and was possibly finished on March 30th, 2024 in the morning hours. Beasley knew that Culliam left his skid steer on the property the night of March 29th, 2024, and when he awoke on March 30th, 2024, at approximately 1200 hours, the skid steer was gone. Culliam rents the pasture property owned by Beasley for cattle grazing and has access to it at any time. On March 28th or 29th, 2024, Culliam asked Beasley if he could cut a tree down, remove a stump, bury some concrete, do dirt work where the concrete pile was and below the dam. Adams was with Culliam at the Beasley's property when that conversation was had. In a contact with Culliam, your officiant learned from Culliam that Adams is his quote-unquote significant other. Beasley agreed to allow Culliam to do the work. Culliam brought up the idea of doing the work to Beasley. Wherefore, officiant prays this court to issue a warrant for the arrest of the within named defendant, that he or she may be brought before a magistrate and held to answer for the offenses of Count 1, murder in the first degree, Count 2, murder in the first degree, Count 3, kidnapping, Count 4, kidnapping, and Count 5, conspiracy. So, and it goes on to have the signatures, and on the 12th day of April 2024, the above styled and numbered case came for hearing before me, the undersigned judge of the District Court of Texas County, Oklahoma, upon the above and foregoing officiant, requesting that a warrant of arrest be issued for the within named defendant, that he or she may be arrested and held for those offenses, and the judge signed it. Again, there's more to this, but that affidavit gave us a lot more information than that presser did, and I'm glad it was unsealed, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to come. But basically, these 4 and a 5th, Rice, they all plotted to murder Veronica and Jillian, and they did it. And then not only are all these kids now without parents, you've got Jillian's kids, her husband, whom I hear is in very bad shape, the preacher, and I'm sure the kids aren't much better with all this. You've got Veronica's 2 kids. I believe they're 6 and 8. And you've got CW, the daughter of Twombly. She is a brave, brave girl for coming forward and talking to law enforcement. And I hope that they're protecting her, because she put everything on the line and she did the right thing. And I'm really hoping also that people don't expose her. Folks don't need to be going out there and showing her face and all that. She's already going to have to testify and do further stuff unless it doesn't go to trial. But I just think she's very, very brave. And thanks to her coming forward and telling what she knows to OSBI, I mean, she really is key in this case. She told them a lot of information. I mean, this is a 16-year-old, she's a 16-year-old kid. So I applaud, I really applaud her. I really, really do. And again, my concern is for her safety and her well-being, as well as Veronica's kids and Jillian's kids and all the families involved, because this is an awful, awful situation. All over custody of 2 children. That Grandma, Tiffany, there at the bottom right, and let me tell you what, she doesn't look anything like she did before. I'll pop the picture on the screen of her and her honey bun there. Before, they look like, I don't know if they're on drugs or what's going on with them. But all over the fact that she wanted her grandkids, and she didn't want their mom or their dad, her son, to have them. I mean, obviously, both Veronica and Wrangler have a lot of issues. Granted, they have tons of issues. But murder? I mean, not only did they murder their mother, her grandkid's mother, but they added an additional innocent person who was just trying to do Veronica a favor. I mean, this has really intertwined a lot of lives, and it's so sad that these things happen. And it's very, very twisted. And this is just the beginning of what we're going to find out. I mean, I think we're at least having one more arrest, if not more. I mean, Grice to me is either they're waiting to arrest him or he's got a deal. I don't know what's going on, but he was the number 5. Like I said, there's 4 here on the screen. There's at least a 5th. But again, let me know what you guys think of the affidavit in this case. It is crazy. It is so crazy. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.